Okay, so on today's video, I'm going to talk about how to sell up to 10 times more products or services, whatever you sell, works for B2B or B2C companies alike. To your existing customers or client base that you currently have right now. And that would of course extend to patients, donors, whatever you have. Get up to 10 times more from them, assuming you aren't just completely green startup right now, do have some customers. Ultimately, regardless though of how many you have, you can get up to 10 times more than your average, what you're getting lifetime value wise out of a customer or client right now by employing these practices through the use of PPC ads that's available to you, as well as anybody with a credit card can go ahead and do these things. And for the most part, tons of people are just completely overlooking. They're always searching for new customers, but they're not focusing on their most valuable asset, which is their current, what they call house list, and marketing to them. And for that matter, if people do try to sell more or pay attention to their current customers or clients, i.e. what they call the house list, they do it through things like through email. Or if they're really advanced, they'll maybe send out a letter in the mail, something like that. This video is going to talk about the same kind of concepts but applied through PPC ads, which can just supercharge that whole thing. So even if you're using it now, and I can tell you firsthand, if you are doing it at all through email, through direct mail right now, whatever, it will be 10 times more than what you had starting with, because PPC ads are very, very powerful in the amount of integration it can be, your ads can have with your everyday users that you have. And with the expense or cost that it costs to run ads, you can you can communicate with people at a very, very inexpensive level and at a high velocity and high repeat rate that you just can't get with other channels like the direct mail or through email alone. And so you shouldn't always just rely on one channel. I never do recommend that for anybody. But if you're not using PPC ads to sell more to your current customers and clients right now, you should definitely be doing that. And so anyway, in this video, I'm going to talk about how I actually do it for the businesses that I run and that I contract with for guaranteed PPC services to help them out, and what I tell them on a regular basis about how to actually increase the lifetime value of their current customer clients coming in, namely because that helps us do more and finding them new customers or clients with PPC ads, which we specialize in helping clients with here as well on a guaranteed basis. But a good, highly producing, i.e. a campaign that can generate millions of dollars of sales successfully and profitably at an 8-to-1 or 10-to-1 return that you're looking for likely for your business, starts with, in a lot of places, having LTV. Sometimes, obviously some businesses, people are going to buy once, they're not going to need it again for 30 years, whatever. But even in this case, I still have some strategies for you there. If you can sell more, instead of struggling to do more to get new customers, you can do this stuff and your current customers coming in that you have from your current channels, marketing channels, will work better. And if you're not profitable yet, you can use these methods here to get the ROI up on what you're doing, or just build a funnel for your business that's profitable enough that you can run expensive Google ads, which are now profitable because you got a better funnel than your competition. A lot of people don't realize, but the big guy that they see running Google ads in their space that look like they spend 50 grand a month, they didn't do that overnight. They started at $3,000 a month and they built it up over a few years. But more so than that as well, they're looking at the lifetime value of a customer and knowing that a customer, they go through their books and they understand things. They understand math as far as they understand a customer will likely buy an average of 5 more times. They're going to generate a total of $1,000 in terms of total lifetime value out of when we do get a customer. So therefore, we do get an 8-to-1 return, and therefore they're fine with paying for it and understand these limitations as to what Google can provide. Whereas somebody else just wants the ads on the first sale to make a profit. If you're competing against that, there's your problem right there. But even with that, and you still don't have a lot of money to start with, you can make a better funnel using these methods. And then I always also say, even if it takes you a while to get your money back in terms of getting a return from a customer coming in from Google search ads or something like that, just start with a lower budget. Start with $300 a month if you want. Set up the right campaigns, watch some of my other videos to do it. Do things like this so that you are able to get the value out of a customer or client that comes in, so you can actually continuously propel a campaign that not only makes money at an 8-to-1 level or 10-to-1 level ROI, but more, and also so that you can grow it and you can be the one sitting at top. This isn't rocket science. It takes a little bit of diligence in setting up campaigns the right way that will go beyond what the other person's willing to do. But you could start off and give yourself an advantage right off the bat by running PPC ads for people that already bought, to get them to buy more, to get them to buy more often, to get them to spend more, so on and so forth. So anyway, on this video, I'm going to talk about the methods to sell to your current, basically 10 times more to your current customers and clients that you are right now using the PPC ads. Again, I mentioned before that this could be done for B2B or B2C businesses, and it could be for products or services as well. So it works, for everybody. So if don't worry if you're in a business that you don't think you can use these ads or these strategies for yourself. It works. I haven't found a business where it won't work. Like I said, even if you usually only sell to a customer, there's still opportunities there, which I'm going to go into. Anyway, so I'm on my list here of things to cover on this video. The first is the big question: how to sell more to an existing customer using PPC ads. Now, okay, so how does this work physically? Have a little not very sophisticated diagram here, but basically the customer buys, and there's 3 primary ways that I use to run PPC ads at the person after they're already a customer or client to get more out of them, upwards of 10 times more depending on what market you're in and how much time you spend on setting this up. But when it does get set up, just makes money for, like on autopilot from now on, which is why it's worth doing. The very first thing on that list is the big one that I recommend everybody to focus on for sure, which is going back to what I was saying before. If you have a program right now that mostly everybody has an email subscription software program like MailChimp, Emma, there's a few, Constant Contact, where they're going to send to their customer base, on a weekly or monthly or quarterly basis or whatever, what have you, some sort of message. And within that messages, they've learned and gotten a little bit more sophisticated over the years, and they'll run a sale, a monthly sale or a quarterly sale, and they'll blast an email out to their customer base. And when you do that, as you know, if you've been doing this already, you get a whole bunch of sales all at once. Now, how would you like to, whatever you're getting from that, make 10 times more of an effect from that than that email that you already have working right now for your business, or whatever you have, what system you have through email working for your business right now to make 10 times more? Well, these PPC ads are going to be able to do it. This is something I've done dozens of times, and I tell all of our clients that, and as soon as identify they have an email program that works. If the email program works, you simply take the verbatim what's on your ads in terms of your email in terms of messaging and all of that, put it into a series of banner ads and responsive text ads, and run them at your current customers, and do that at the same interval. So you can run a campaign for a week or a month or whatever that you want. So if you have an email going out and you have a sale that's going to be running for a month, what you do is you take that message, you put it into a banner ad, and then you run a campaign to those same people, the exact same people you're emailing with the ad. What's that going to do? The people that you ultimately wanted to see the email is going to see it 100 times more. They're going to be 100 times more likely to be affected by it. They're going to see it, 50 times more than what they, that they saw the email if they saw it. Because ultimately, here's the difference right here. What do you think works better? They're getting 10 junk mails a day. They get your email. They may not even see it. As you know, the click-through rate on the ads is extremely low, or on the emails is extremely low, like 20%. So 4 out of 5 chance they don't even see it, or they choose not to click on it. But a lot of that is just they got so much junk mail that they don't see it. They're trained to mentally sift through it, so they can't spend too much energy on it because they're tired. Just like how you sort junk mail at home. What do you do with the junk mail? You stand over the garbage, trash, and you're just trying to identify if it's advertising and then trash it. Especially also now because Google has the promotions tab where all your emails like that, which a little trick that I learned as well. If you write your promotions in text form, it'll go into the primary tab and you'll get a lot more response from it. If you can do that, of course, and then send people through a link to a page that has all your full graphics. Just a side note about that, bonus for the instructions for the video, how to make more money from your offers there. But they probably won't open it for a number of different reasons. And if they do open it, they're in the middle of drinking their morning coffee, checking their email. They may not be in the mood to buy something at that particular time. And then the other thing is it may go to spam. So that's another reason why you only get 20% of people to open your email anyway. And obviously, as you know, you only get maybe 2 or 3% of your people to totally click through to your site. On the other hand, if you have a banner ad with that same exact message that runs in the same exact cadence as your email, you literally can have that message show up for each person on your email list 100 times. It literally only costs a penny, roughly speaking, to have that ad show up for somebody once. You can have it show up for them 100 times spaced out over that whole month that you want the promotion, several times a day, but at different times of the day. People spend a lot of time online. You can get them on their phone. You can get them back at home when they get on their desktop because they're logged into the same email, and so therefore you can target them cross-platform. And so with that, they for sure see it at that point. They're going to for sure take it serious, and it's going to register no matter how they thought or how much energy they had at the moment the first time. And that's how you're going to be able to get your 10 times more response from whatever you're doing through email right now or letters through the mail, which of course if it works, especially if the email doesn't cost anything. But it costs $1 to have something that, to basically put in front of them, which they're going to get the message 100 times. And so they're basically for sure going to click on it as long as that message is relevant to them at some point to check it out, versus highly unlikely to click through. Maybe 1 in 50 will click through. Every person on your list is going to click through. And then it's just a matter of, is your offer good enough or not? The better the offer, the more response. But with that said, if they're on the site and they click on your ad and they're a current customer and they needed to buy what they were going to buy already or wanted to, your chances are good they're going to buy something at that point. So it's all about just doing whatever it takes to get that customer to click on the ad, because the more you get to click on it, the lower it costs to have each visitor to the site from your ad, by the way. That's how it works. But then the more sales you're going to make. So you make the offer good enough to get a whole crap load of people to click on that, and you're going to make a bunch of money from it. And so every person on your list is basically, 5,000 customers. You're going to have 5,000 of your customers on your site may or may not be buying something, but a good chunk, 5% or so, 10% even, will buy something. Versus again, probably 0.5% or 1% if you're just doing through email. Even though the email is free, when it only costs $1 to have something show up 100 times for somebody and run the campaign on a 5,000 list for $5,000, it's worth it because you're going to be able to generate $100,000 in sales. It's just cost of doing business, and you'll see that for yourself if you run this. If you haven't, I haven't seen a single time email when it is profitable that you can't move that over to Google's display network. If you can't do Google's display network, you can do AdRoll. Also Facebook, and if it works on one, it works on all three. Or it's either Google Display Network and Facebook, or Facebook and AdRoll, depending on your industry and what you're allowed to run Google sometimes doesn't allow certain things, so therefore you can use ad roll. As long as you got their email address, you could take all your current customers, get them on ad roll. If you've had remarketing set up on your Google Ads account for some time, you can target customers just by specifying that in the remarketing settings that you want to target customers. But if you have all the past customers and you don't have a remarketing audience set up specifically for customers, which you can do very easily through Google Analytics, you can upload your email list to AdRoll, and it's basically the same thing. And on Facebook, you can also upload your email. So therefore, that's all you have to do. And then basically, that's the general fundamentals of it. Beyond that, the second thing on the list here is comparable or correlated products. So one thing I always do or like to do is let's say you sell a bunch of different items, you're an e-commerce shop, your clothing shop, you can through data analytics go through and find the items that are most correlated. And analytics is a big, Amazon is a huge company because they're great at this. They can identify what is the most likely item someone's going to buy with another item. And you can do this through machine learning apps. Google has one where you can do this, where it'll tell you the items that were most commonly bought together. And at that point in time, you can have ads that when they bought item A, you can find that they will then find item B in your ad to market to that same customer after they're already a customer. And you know that product is, you still have to have a reason to click on it. You know, current customers, an offer for current customers this month only. We're offering 10% off this, on leather jackets, and you sell a bunch of different motorcycle gear, but you know that they want to buy a leather jacket, so you offer that ad with the leather jacket on it. Of course, you need to customize your ads for different groups of people because you're going to have a whole bunch of different categories of buyers, but what you're going to do is find out, again, what categories normally go together, and then you run ads for each corresponding category, each with its own offer on it. Because when somebody sees an ad, in order for it to have a high enough click-through, to have a lower enough cost per click, which if you do this, just the way that I'm describing targeting customers, and something that you know that statistically they're likely to see, cost per click can be as low as 10 cents each, which at those kind of numbers, it's real easy kind of to basically make money. But in order to get the 10 cent clicks and have all that come through, they got to say, why me, why now? Well, why them? They're a customer, and you're offering a current customer loyalty sale, and it's for an item that they're interested in because you have the data on that person, and if they want to buy this, they better do it this month or specifically by seeing the ad and clicking now, because they might forget about it and then not get that discount, and therefore, so that really works as well. You should try that out. If you're a service, it's pretty easy to do. Let's say you offer a tax service. You can offer like QuickBooks training, because that's a normal kind of side thing that you offer. You get a client, you can have an ad that offers a QuickBooks training, current in the same thing. Client loyalty promotion for fall only, offering QuickBooks training. Reserve your spot now, get 20% off. This month only, that kind of thing. So I also highly recommend that as well. You can get creative with that as much as you want, of course, but that's the general fundamentals of it again. The last thing here on my list is the bulk or quantity discounts. Now this is like if you sell a supplement. When they check out, you should always have where they can get, let's say, 3 bottles of supplement for the price of 2. And if they you can have it if they buy 3, automatically now you can offer them 6 for the price of 4. And you just keep doing that until they basically stop. But you can set up through softwares, and you can build your own software that does this. But like through ClickFunnels, which is they have one-click upsells to where once the person's put their credit card information in, and before they click submit, they can click yes to your offer, and then if they click yes to that, you can have another and another and another and another offer. And so technically, this isn't done through running ads, but you certainly do it there. But the same kind of idea, what would work there, if you build that into the ads, it also will magnify what you have. So somebody that works through your one-click upsell on your cart software that you're using, like ClickFunnels, wrap it into an ad. This month only, customers, first-time customers now get a special discount when they buy a second time, and that special discount is X, and that could be they get 3 bottles for the price of 2 again, or whatever it is. You test out in your one-click upsells, find out what works, work that into an ad, and then that will work a ton more because they aren't just offered at one time. It's not quite as intense as going from email, as I described before, to the ad, but it's maybe a third or half of the way there, but it certainly does work. I just am kind of conveying here that you test out what in your one-click upsell in your checkout. Once you know that works, build it into an ad. Almost always will work too. But if you can't do like a bulk offer, do a quantity discount. Oh, you bought 1 month's worth of service. Well, if you get a 1 year now while you're checking out, we'll give it to you for 70%. You buy the 1 year up front. And if that's working, again, put that into your ad. Client loyalty program, this month only for Christmas offer, customer loyalty program for just for clients, just for Christmas. We're offering 1 year service promotion for just the cost of 7 months. And then if a person was gonna, these are customers again that you're targeting. That person is highly likely to be interested in that of a current customer. Then you could get a lot of money from the customers up front, which, by the way, when people buy this stuff in bulk, a lot of times you would never get those purchases because they would have changed their mind. But when you get them to buy in advance, they won't, let's just say, ask for a refund. So you're basically giving an opportunity while they're excited still, which you can have these ads show up immediately after they purchase. Literally, they purchase, they go to CNN.com, boom, your ad is right there. And I recommend you run those for a good couple weeks, but then they're just automatic. If it works, it just turns more and more money every customer you get and adds to your bottom line so that you can put more towards new ads to get people in, and it's an ongoing cycle then of trying to figure out how to have a better offer for people after they purchase, tweaking that, using the funds to get new customers in, and you work it from both angles. A good PPC person is going to work it from both angles, or a good marketer or whatever. On the comparable products, you can usually, by the way, run those ads for about a month after they purchase, is what I found is about kind of the sweet spot on there. And anyway, with that, moving on. The last thing here on the list, though, I just wanted to mention, so the question is, why tiered sales don't always work? So one of the things that people, when they do try to sell more to their customers, what they'll do is they'll have an ebook, tripwire product for $7, and then they'll try to sell a mini course for $200, and if a person buys that, they have a workshop for $2,000. If they buy that, then they and they keep going up. One thing that you have to know about that, and which is the reason why I mention and recommend to you that I'm focusing on these 3 things, first and foremost, is because the same customer who buys at price A is rarely the customer who also buys at price B. A person who wants a $7 tripwire product isn't the person, when we're talking about, the kind of the typical, situation where this would be done, isn't the same person who wants it done for them. You'll get a small amount that way, but the idea before was the sales from the first cheap offer will go to finance eventually the big customers, and then therefore it all works together, kind of like what we're trying to do here to increase lifetime value, to then bring in more traffic, and so on and so forth. It's just, again, anymore, it doesn't work like you think it would. I've tried this quite a few times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But again, if your hope is to run a bunch of cheap traffic and get a bunch of cheap customers, and eventually you're going to get a trickle coming back to get the $20,000 sale, it's very difficult to get that to work as far as I found. And if you're thinking about that or struggled with it before, start with this. This is the number one thing that always works. And then, of course, these are, you know, pretty much neck and neck. You could try these. You probably can get two for sure to work for you, no matter what you're doing, and potentially 3. You should try them all out, though, especially if you're not getting the level of ROI that you need to be self-sustaining on your PPC, so that you can scale your campaigns up over time. The golden prize is be able to spend 50 grand, 100 grand a month on ads and generate $4 or $5 million a year in sales, which you have to start that from knowing what your numbers need to be able to be profitable. And then you have to set up a funnel that can generate those numbers. Half of it will be literally, if you just do your work here right, just by setting up your upsells to get you the rest, to get you the ROI the rest of the way. But that's how you can sell up to 10 times more to a current customer or client. Whether you do 1 or 2 or 3, you'll start stacking the gains to where you could sell twice as much or 3 times or 4. The more time you put into it, the more you're going to get. You would be surprised how much you can actually get out of a customer or client coming in once you have a whole chain of things perfectly mapped out and tested for yourself over a long period of time. Anyway, that concludes the video. If you like this video, I have a video that I come out with about every day, money-making PPC strategies. And you can subscribe, and you can learn how to do a lot more money-making PPC strategies just like this for yourself. You can also go to guaranteedppc.com/blog. I have a blog where there's step-by-step instructions on how to put together money-making PPC campaigns that work based upon my 15 years of experience doing PPC and running businesses like this for myself in e-commerce and so on and so forth. And the campaigns we put together for our clients here that have to guarantee the results. I show you the exact campaigns I use for them there on the blog. But if you go ahead and try this stuff out and you get stuck or have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'd be glad to try to help you out and get unstuck and or just fill in the gaps on anything I didn't cover here in this particular video, so that you can get this up and going for yourself, and then you at least get some additional free profit out of the same customers or clients you have right now just by implementing the steps I gave you on this video.